What's up, Netizens? You're watching DarkStar, the only reaction channel sipping on that gin and tonic. My name's Anthony. To my fellow reactionaries, Joey, Chris, what's up, dude?
What's up? That's pretty clever.
I got the gin one.
Tonic's nasty.
Tonic,
the
dude.
Gin.
Ryu Tonic. That's his name. We figured that out the
No,
other day. Remember
shut
that?
the fuck up. Get out of here.
You don't remember that?
No.
It's
Stop.
Ryu
Quit your
Hayabusa
shit.
and Ryu
Shut up.
Tonic. We found
Quit
that
your
out.
shit. Stop.
What do you guys know about gin?
Tekken Beast is gonna wreck this fucking dude's shit.
Oh yeah, Jin's your favorite Tekken character,
They
right?
actually really fucking like Street Fighter characters, correct though? Don't they normally do really well?
Nah, dude, every Street Fighter character is lost.
Ever.
Every Street Fighter character is
All
lost.
time?
I'm a big Jin fan, but dope. Especially if it goes evil Jin.
See, I missed out on the Street Fighter Tekken. While everybody else was over here fighting Street Fighter Tekken, I was over here like, Soul Calibur, let's go.
Evil Jin or Devil Jin? I can't remember. It's one of the two. It's called something.
And they're making a new one too. Oh god, dude, I'm so hyped.
I was playing Smash Bros.
That too, dude. That's where I was at, dude. Me and my cousin were fucking. The very first time they released the Wii, and they were like, "You can play Smash Bros. Online." Me and my cousin were like, "Finally, we could play 2v2s and dominate the fucking planet." Like that's all we wanted to do, dude.
I really don't know much about Ryu.
Was trash.
Besides, pretty much all the fucking Street Fighter people like him.
Like who?
Fans like Ryu. He's lame, dude.
How can you not like Ryu with the last name like Tonic?
I'm obviously gonna go into depth about the fucking death battle. I assume if he gets Devil Jin out, he'll win the fight.
Well, let's go ahead and watch this analysis. The chunky one. Let's check it out.
Everyone has different reasons for studying
How old is
martial
this
arts. For personal honor, to improve health,
and for kicking the crap out of the other people, like with Ryu, the wandering world warrior of Street Fighter.
Ryu Tonic.
and Jin Kazuma, the power-hungry martial arts master of Tekken.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Jin's
He's
hair
the
is pretty
hero
legit,
the world
honestly.
never knew. His name means prosperous, plentiful, and abundant. He is the wandering warrior. He is Ryu.
That's a pretty epic introduction for a hobo.
Orphaned at a young age, Ryu was adopted by the martial arts master Goken. Under Goken's training and beside his fellow
This is
student
where we
Ken
started
masters,
right here.
Ryu was trained in the art of Ansatsuken.
AKA the Assassination Fist.
Is like-
This ancient fighting style
Sounds
was
like he should be
specifically
Goten's
designed for
kid.
murder, which automatically
Goku
makes
family.
it the best martial art ever.
Well, Goken actually taught Ryu a slightly altered
I'm not
variant
gonna
of the
watch whatever
Ansatsuken. Inspired by
they're
karate,
showing
kenpo, and
currently.
judo, Goken's version was a generally
would never.
non-lethal one.
Oh, lame.
But the deadly side of the martial art lived on in Goken's brother, Akuma, who would ultimately prove to be Goken's downfall. One day, Ryu and Ken returned to their dojo to find their master dead.
Kind of. He got better later. But Ryu didn't know that, so he swore
Oh,
to wander
that-
the earth perfecting his abilities until he could take down Akuma himself.
With the Ansatsuken style, Ryu is a master at close quarter combat. With such techniques as the Shoryuken uppercut and the flying hurricane kick, he can take down most foes in mere seconds.
He's like a living helicopter of pain, but he can also use his ki as a weapon, firing a fireball of energy from his palms. Say it with me, Hadouken!
Goken's version of the Ansatsuken also taught Ryu several defensive techniques, including the skill to parry most other attacks with precise timing.
And with all these awesome powers of whooping ass, Ryu eventually made his way to the World Warrior Tournament.
With his skills, Ryu quickly reached the top of the competition. For the title of World Warrior, he faced his toughest opponent yet, Sagat.
Who ended up beating the shit out of him. But Sagat was surprisingly a pretty good sport, so when he thought the fight was over, he offered Ryu a hand up.
And in that moment, something dark swelled from within Ryu's consciousness. A force so fierce and destructive, he couldn't contain it. And he
Jeez.
lashed out. With an enraged shout and an explosion of blood, Ryu emerged as champion over Sagat's near-dead body. Ryu's dark side had been unleashed. This was the Satsui no Hado.
A violent inner force so extreme, its name actually means surge of murderous intent. If I ever knowingly father a child, I know what I'm naming him.
Under the influence of the
Bob.
Satsui no Hado, Ryu falls into an uncontrollable rage known as Evil Ryu, where his physical and spiritual power skyrockets.
He can even teleport and use Akuma's favorite technique,
He
the
becomes
Shun
so
Goku
angry,
Satsu,
he
which
becomes
literally
Akuma.
translates to instant hell murder. Okay, shit, now I gotta have
Basically.
2 kids that I care about.
The Shun Goku Satsu, or the Raging Demon, is a fatal move which attacks the very soul of its victims with the gravity of all their past sins.
To make them die 1,000 deaths.
But while the Satsui no Hado is a manifestation of Ryu's dark side, he has achieved balance with the light. This is called Mu no Ken, or the power of nothingness.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. What's he gonna do with nothing?
By focusing on mental and spiritual refinement and detachment, Ryu has achieved the ultimate state of being. This begets a power strong enough to match and even surpass the Satsui no Hado.
Oh yeah, that's how Goken survived Akuma's hell murder attack. And now Ryu's got the same power. Look at him go.
With all this power, Ryu's performed some incredible feats. Aside from winning the World Warrior Tournament, he's dodged bullets, destroyed skyscrapers, and survived Balrog's Gigaton blow.
Yeah, remember him from that boxing match we did? He's strong enough to kill an elephant in one punch. Ryu is so tough that he's survived getting impaled. And when he goes evil mode, he can just walk through gunfire.
He's strong enough to lift this enormous boulder over his head. By estimating the boulder's volume compared to Ryu's height and assuming a sandstone composition, we can determine it must weigh at least 36 tons.
Plus, there's a guy sitting on top of the boulder, and he's lifting his own boulder.
Ryu
Man,
versus
Oro's
Spider-Man
cool.
or not?
While Ryu's fighting record isn't perfect,
Spider-Man
his
with
wins
Fallout,
far outnumber his losses. He's defeated his friend Ken, the dictator M. Bison, and even a genetically engineered super warrior named Seth.
But those were just pit stops compared to his frequent battles with Akuma. And if you don't know, Akuma shattered an island with a single punch, split Ayers Rock in half in
One punch,
Australia, and jumped to the ocean surface from 4,000 feet below in 3 seconds while destroying a submarine.
That's about 3,000 miles per hour, by the way, and I guess he just powered through the bends.
Yeah, he's definitely final boss material.
And so, years after Akuma's attack on his foster father, Ryu faced him for the final time. And with the power of Mu no Ken on his side, Ryu was victorious.
All in a day's work for everyone's favorite Street Fighter.
You had the power to actually defeat that beast. Now show it to me.
This power is not your defeat. This is the power to push forward.
I'm really excited to see Jin's.
If you met Jin Kazuma when he was just a boy, you wouldn't figure he'd grow up to be one of the most dangerous men to ever live.
Unless you already knew about his super deadly and super crazy family.
Jin was raised by his single mother, who taught him the Kazuma family-style martial arts after his father abandoned them.
Story of my life. No, really, those training days with Mama Boomstick were some of the best times of my life.
One day, Jin's mother sensed a great evil approaching. She told him that if anything were to happen to her, he should seek out his grandfather, Heihachi Mishima.
Right on cue, a big-ass ogre showed up and attacked him. When Jin came to, his mom and Shrek were nowhere to be seen.
Pretty baller
Don't you
looking
hate
ogre.
it how moms are always right?
Thankfully, it wasn't too difficult for Jin to find Heihachi.
Yeah, he's super rich and has a really tall building. Kinda hard to miss.
So rich, in fact, that Heihachi owned a multinational conglomerate empire with its own banking, weaponry, military forces, and, just for kicks, a martial arts tournament.
Whoa! Why didn't Mom tell him about this? Time to collect on those missing Christmas presents, Granddad.
Well, she also forgot to mention that Heihachi is a terrible father who's obsessed with throwing his own son off cliffs. Nobody's perfect, I guess.
Regardless, under Heihachi's guidance, Jin trained and perfected the Mishima Ryu fighting style. With 2 types of martial arts mastered, he's got all sorts of techniques that can pack a punch.
Such as the flash punch combo and the electrically charged lightning screw uppercut.
Or his famous 10-hit combo chain. Once he gets you stuck in his flurry of punches and kicks, you're not going anywhere until he finishes you off with a classic dragon uppercut.
With these talents and a thirst for revenge, Jin entered his grandfather's King of Iron Fist tournament. There, he came face to face with the ogre once again. But instead of, interrogating him to find out what happened to his mother, Jin just killed him. Nice job, stupid. There goes the only lead you had.
Nothing tastes better than sweet, sweet revenge. Except for maybe Mom's cooking. Well, unfortunately, it didn't last long, because he got shot up by his grandfather. Oh, that son of a bitch. Mama always said never trust a bald man who tells his barber, give me the Wolverine.
But Jin had a little surprise for Heihachi, and for himself, actually. Thanks to his family line, he has inherited the dreaded and parasitic Devil Gene,
which turns him into a flying
oh yeah,
laser
this guy's actually pretty dope.
person. Now that's one genetic disorder you can sign me up for.
Good news then. I've been working on an artificial digestible version of the Devil Gene myself.
Oh yeah? Would that happen to be the chewy fruit candy in the blue bucket?
What did you do?
Well, my dog Jack Spaniels was wandering around scrounging for food as he does, and I was wondering why he suddenly grew horns and wings.
You've got to be shitting me.
Anyway, compared to his base form, Devil Jin's strength, speed, and durability are better than ever.
Devil Jin is strong enough to throw people dozens of feet and even smash them through walls. For this instance in particular, he's pushing Heihachi through the limestone wall of an Aztec pyramid. To do this, Jin must have struck the wall with force equal to at least 10 tons per square inch.
Hell, Jin is stronger than this guy called Raven, who can toss around this giant war robot named Nancy.
When compared to real-life robots of similar size and accounting for additional weaponry and gear, this machine should weigh anywhere between 15 to 30 tons.
Hey, they got those designs from Ruby.
Also, Jin is fast enough to dodge bullets and fly into orbit.
And survive falling all the way back down,
which puts his maximum flight speed over escape velocity. That's more than 25,000 miles per hour.
He can even punch so fast he causes shock waves. That's right, Jin throws punches faster than the speed of sound. Remind me never to give him a high five.
Totally reasonable, considering his grandfather can catch bullets in his teeth from just 20 feet away.
And surely Jin can do better than that. Heihachi doesn't even have the Devil Gene.
That's right. The Devil Gene traces back not to Heihachi, but to Jin's grandmother,
who freaking rides tigers.
As a result, Heihachi's son Kazuya inherited the Devil Gene and passed it on to Jin.
Kazuya's powers are basically the same as Jin's, and he's shown just how far the devil form can go. He's shot a blast powerful enough to erupt a volcano and survived a satellite laser straight out of Independence Day.
This is the same laser that once shot the robotic soldier Gunjack. By measuring the blast radius and resulting devastation, the laser's firepower appears to equal 3.7 megatons of TNT.
You know the bomb that got dropped on Nagasaki in World War the sequel? Yeah, this laser's like 176 of those hitting all at once.
While the Devil Gene can sometimes be difficult for Jin to control, it provides an enormous advantage against almost any foe.
With it, he's won 3 of the 4 King of Iron Fist tournaments he's entered. He's defeated Heihachi, Kazuya, and even the supposed OG Devil Man himself, Azazel. Too bad he had to start World War II sequel just to find him. Kind of a dick
I would have
move.
definitely called that
Jin's
guy Azazel.
certainly no angel, and hardly a hero. Still, when it comes down to it, he is the child of destiny, and not even the devil's blood can seal his fate.
Can't you understand? All this fighting is pointless. It's never gonna end!
It will end with this bloodline. And that is why I fight.
Damn, I was not expecting that voice.
Right,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
This debate once and for all.
Yeah, I
But
don't
first,
know what he
all
sounds like
this
at all.
talk of Jin is
I want Jin to win, so I'm gonna go with him.
I'm gonna go with Jin as well, even though I'm not super confident about it. I don't think they showed a lot of stat shit for Jin and only showed one stat thing for fucking Ryu, which makes me think like I don't know. Cause they definitely showed one for Ryu and 3 I think for Jin, which seems kind of like whoa, damn.
Well, it was like 2 speed feats and then 1 thing, but his strength one was lower, and they didn't show a speed one for Ryu.
Well, they showed the one where he put that dude through the wall, the one where he took the hit from the laser, and the one with him flying in space.
Oh, the fucking blast one too. Yeah. Okay, so it was 4 then.
So I'm going with Jin still. It's gonna be the devil form versus each other, or the evil forms, or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Ryu at all, so I'm gonna go Jin, but I kind of feel like Ryu's gonna win just because of popularity.
I don't know. Jin seems. Jin looks cooler. His story's better to me. I don't know. Demon wings and shit looks pretty awesome.
I don't know what Ryu would do if he took Ryu in fucking orbit. How would he get back down? Like, if he fell, I'm pretty sure it would kill him.
This
but I
one-
don't know.
Yeah, true.
Hadouken!
This one's hard
So
to.
stop, kind of like a beam, like a jet. It's Hadouken! Shoot at the ground.
True.
This one's
Slowly,
hard to like analyze and stuff like that. Like what my opinion would even be theoretically, because there's so little powers involved. It's almost all just whether or not they're stronger than the other one or not. Like the
Yeah.
only one that I can think that would be impactful really at all is the soul killing one or whatever.
Yeah, when he
By
said
Ryu.
this, well, but see, I was thinking about that, but I was wondering if he goes to devil form, if he technically has a soul or not. That's what I was wondering, because it's like he does a punch, it can literally attach your soul. And I was thinking in regular form, I think it would hurt Jin, but I don't know about if he's in devil form. I really don't know.
Well, if he's like a descendant of that thing, then I don't think it's necessarily a matter of whether or not it changes when he changes form. I think it's just a matter of whether or not it constitutes the same thing at any given time or whatever.
The biggest thing is going to be like, this is so lame. The hardest person you can say Jin went up against would either be Hihachi or Ogre, and really, not really his dad, and Ryu fucking beat
that
Akuma.
devil guy.
And Akuma's super fucking strong. Oh yeah, the devil guy. And Akuma's super fucking strong, so I'm not sure how they'll fucking compare what they've accomplished. I forgot all that devil guy. I don't think I played the Tekken. But like Ogre, fucking Akuma would stomp him. He would stomp Heihachi. So I don't know how that would work.
I mean, the one nice thing he's got going for him, and this is one of the few battles that it appears it should matter a lot, but it's so hard for me to ever see them do this because it's such a cop-out. But man, it's really hard for me to see the Ryu feats in speed here. Like,
He doesn't really have much.
if he wins, they're gonna bring it up in the post, I think, about how he was able to react to something like really quick or whatever. But like as of right now, the combat speed and in Street Fighter, like you can have like Akuma blowing up an island with fucking one punch or whatever. Seems kind of like something that they would do in like a Street Fighter or whatever. But the whole like disappear in one spot and appear in a different spot, like speed type thing that the typical like stereotypical like almost teleporting you're so fast type thing or whatever, that doesn't seem like Street Fighter style. So I'm guessing that kind of stuff does not really exist in Street Fighter, and if that's the case, then I feel like Jin should have a massive advantage when
Speed.
it comes to that. And I don't know, I mean, do you think fucking Ryu can survive a nuke?
Fuck, who knows? I mean, that'd be tough. I don't really think so, no, but you never know with them.
I mean, like he said,
I really don't think so. Holy shit. I mean, thinking about the damage, I don't think so. The only thing that would be is the fucking shit that attacks your soul, I think would be his only move. Like, I don't think the Hadouken's going to do anything, like, damaging that much. He could probably just dodge it. It's going to be the fucking hand-to-hand combat move that he does that attacks your soul. If that doesn't hurt him, Jin's going to win. If it does, that'll be the way he wins.
alright. Well, let's find out.
Let's go, dude.
There's no way I can lose. Talk is cheap. The answer lies in the heart of battle.
This is pretty out. Good start so far. I like the animation. It's pretty smooth too.
Ryu's hands are fucking huge, by the way.
He's just a like really stocky dude overall. Weird looking.
He looks like
fucking
a
Matrix
version of
1 right there, dude.
Incredible Hulk.
Holy shit. It's even
Yeah,
the
like a
room.
compressed Hulk.
Like 10 years of steroids out of him. That's what I was gonna say, Joe. He takes him in the air, he'll just fucking helicopter kick all the way back down. He dizzy as shit when he hits the ground, but
You could do better than that.
I mean, the only thing he's got left that's like a final move is that he got him to change into demon form before Ryu did, so. And he's got the demon form and the nothingness form. Unless he goes straight into the nothingness form.
Oh yeah, forever the nothingness one. Holy shit, that might well be what happened.
yeah, like I said, I don't feel like Jin's gonna win this. It's just hard, dude. I feel like Ryu's so fucking popular. Damn.
Y'all think?
Dude, that's where Raven and them were. Or not, yeah. Fucking Ruby.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they fucking fight.
This
Raven
must
and
have just recently come out, dude. Oh, definitely not that long ago. Holy shit. Same shit and everything, dude. Their animation team got real with this one, dude.
Yeah.
The same fallen rock and everything.
Makes me fucking hyped for next week, dude.
Dude, we see fucking like Raven and Cinder in the background fighting. It's like, dude, they were there the entire time.
We should have known. That's pretty crazy. I mean, he still hasn't turned into nothingness form. Like, there's no way Jin is gonna win. I feel like. Oh shit!
I mean, that has to kill him.
Kill him!
Way.
No,
Fucking
don't go
idiot.
into the nothingness form. Just die. God damn it!
Fucking Jesus Christ.
This is pretty hype right now. The music.
It is actually really dope.
Ryu just turned into the fucking Winter Maiden.
Literally just Kamehameha that.
Winter Maiden did. That's what it was that.
I
that killed
walk
him?
the path of the true warrior.
I mean, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
So lame.
Whoa!
What's with the
That's
power?
bullshit, dude. They can't use powers from Ruby. Get out of here.
This one was a tricky match to decipher. Both Ryu and Jin had many displays of incredible feats, but very few truly showcased the upper limits of their power. We know that in their base forms, both could lift around 30 tons and move at supersonic speeds. Also, we know Ryu could maintain a much better level of control and discipline in Muno Ken than Jin in Devil form.
Yeah, hardcore Tekken fans know he had pretty good control over it in that Blood Vengeance movie, but it's pretty inconsistent with game canon. Even Tekken's creator has said it's not canon.
Also, Jin's fall from orbit feat was impressive, but it is hard to quantify due to its presentation. Even if we assume we are to take it literally, a man of Jin's size landing at terminal velocity would equal around 18 tons of force.
But to find their limits, we had to scale them to comparable characters.
Scaling Jin to his father Kazuya was logical. Kazuya survived that 3.7 megaton laser blast, and it's clear it was necessary for him to be in devil form to do so. Kazuya's own laser blast was strong enough to help kick off a volcano's eruption, a feat which could require up to 100 megatons of TNT. But that's a very generous estimate, and its actual potency is likely much less.
Since their power comes from the same place, and Jin's even defeated Kazuya before, it's safe to say Jin can do all this too. As for Ryu, we knew exactly who we had to scale him to. Let's talk about Akuma.
First off, just to prove this scaling is reasonable, Ryu and Akuma share very similar abilities. Both were trained in the Otsutsuken fighting style, and both possessed the Satsui no Hado. They fought each other several times, and when the story was all said and done, Ryu emerged ultimately victorious based on his skill alone.
Now that that's out of the way, let's watch Akuma punch an island to death.
With a single strike, Akuma managed to break apart an entire island so thoroughly that Ryu, who was on the island, was left floating helplessly in nearly clear water. Assuming the island is somewhat circular, we've estimated the volume and deduced that in order to fragment the island like this, Akuma's punch must have been over 400 megatons of TNT.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
more than 4 times stronger than anything a Devil Gene has pulled off. And Ryu takes blows from this guy all the time.
Sure, Ryu wasn't getting hit with 400 megatons every time Akuma landed a punch, but the most a Devil Gene carrier has ever survived amounts to less than 1% in comparison. Even if Jin could survive a strike as strong as Kazuya's volcano feat, it still pales in comparison. The fact that Ryu survived being on the island as it was blown apart helps justify this scaling too.
Well, Jin still takes the speed advantage with that flight into orbit, but it doesn't mean much when the difference of power and toughness is this massive.
When it came down to it, Ryu's strength, durability, and control were just too far out of Jin's reach.
Wait, Wiz, we forgot a feat. You remember that gun Jack robot? A later model of Jack once destroyed a meteor. Couldn't we just scale Jin to that?
Well, it's unsupported by canon material, but even if we did, guess who destroyed an even bigger meteor?
Akuma?
Akuma.
Damn. Well, Jin up, everybody.
Ryu's done none of that,
Ryu's
you know.
taking
But he
care
did
of
Akuma,
business.
though.
The
Yeah.
winner is Ryu.
What has Ryu done? Well, he fucking.
But the part that
docked
you're
his
forgetting-
face
Watching, if you guys
for
want
robber.
exclusive
The
commentary
part
on
that
the
you're
episode, just
forgetting
click
is
that
all
little
the
box right
times
there.
that
And if
I've
you want the
shit
battle
on
music from this
Akuma
episode,
with
you can get
Deadpool.
it by clicking the link in the description.
Let's go.
I mean, it's. I mean, I get it because they have to use it to argue. It's just so annoying sometimes. Like,
I don't. I
What is-
don't like it at all, dude.
What has
Yeah,
Ryu
don't
done?
don't even bother
Ozzy.
doing this battle then. Do Akuma versus whatever. But this
Yeah,
battle
Akuma
was
versus- yeah.
fucking stupid. Like, I,
Ryu's accomplished none of this, but Akuma's done all this.
He
So-
takes punches from this guy every day.
the reason it is kind of annoying too. So you weren't part of this conversation, Chris, but me and Joey were talking earlier about this death battle that's coming out next week that we're gonna be watching is Lucy versus the Carnage or whatever. And one of a lot of the stuff I was looking up for Carnage, was people scaling off. He's supposed to be stronger than Spider-Man and Venom combined, and then using Venom and Spider-Man feats. And I was telling Joey, yeah, but I feel like Screw Attack usually doesn't do like a hard scaling like that or whatever. They usually try to use their own feats for the characters instead of trying to just be like, well, they did this, so they must be exactly this strong or whatever, like this secondhand shit. But this one is one of the recent ones, so maybe that is something that they do now or whatever. If they can't
It's gonna
find
be
enough
crazy,
feats.
dude. Like out of all the villains, like legitimately, my favorite is Ultron, but Carnage is my second favorite villain, dude.
It's
And I
gonna be
know a
weird.
lot about Carnage, so that's gonna be a heavy debating one right there. If fucking, I mean, there's no surprise. I'm voting for Carnage. There's no fucking surprise. But if Carnage doesn't win that shit, I'm gonna be fucking livid, dude.
The shit he sent me.
A
This
lot
chick's
of shit.
OP.
Yeah,
From
she's-
what I've
she's crazy
seen.
strong.
She is, but I haven't actually watched the anime itself, so.
It's so annoying. Like it even showed Jin doing all this shit. The only thing it really used that Jin didn't do was his dad taking the blast, and it literally showed Ryu doing basically nothing but beating Akuma every once in a
Well,
while.
that wasn't even. That was just like a supplemental thing. Like, hey, it's not that crazy in this universe for people to do these types of things or whatever. Because what they showed is that just the air force of his punch was so fast that it literally broke the sound barrier or whatever. That's what that was his feat. They just were like, and look, it's not even necessarily like out of character for this universe. See, he just caught a bullet with his teeth and he's not even one of these demons. But that isn't saying he can catch a bullet with his teeth because his dad could or his grandpa could or whatever. That's just saying like, look, it is consistent with the universe. Whereas in Street Fighter, I don't know. I think Akuma, to me personally, like I understand. Part of Ryu's thing is like willpower and stuff like that. I feel like personally, because I feel like Akuma is supposed to be stronger than Ryu. Ryu just overcomes him with technique and willpower and that kind of stuff, and his willingness to always train and get better and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So
Yeah.
it just annoys me that I don't know. I don't like some of the stuff. I don't like the feat they did with the island. They kept showing the picture of or the image of Ryu like sitting there in the water. It was a very small portion. You couldn't see stuff. You saw rocks falling all over the place. I know I've seen them do different things before. Like So depending on, because I went and looked for this for like the Ichigo Naruto battle. So the way they do calculations and stuff, the amount of TNT force is dependent on what kind of damage they actually did. So if you broke it up, that's not as powerful as if you like turned it to dust. You know what I mean? Like if you broke it in two, that's not as powerful as if you broke it into like a million pieces. And that's not as powerful as if you turned it into like dust. And that's not as powerful as if you literally erase it from existence. That sort of stuff. And it's like exponential. So like if they were one in front of whatever this form of it was, then it could have went from like 400 TNT to like less than 100 or whatever megatons of TNT. So I would like to see if there's specific calculations for that as well. And if somebody knows what they are in the comments or whatever, I know they do a podcast. I don't know how long that's been going on or if they did this or whatever, but I'd like to see which ones they specifically use because I've seen them use the wrong ones previously, and that like overestimated their the characters they were doing ability or whatever. It just seems so out of place. Like nothing, and it's evidenced by the fact that Ryu doesn't have any of these feats by himself. You know what I mean? Like,
I do. It's lame.
Like if all you can do is use 2 Akuma feats in order to make your point, because Ryu has literally no feats anywhere near the same tier by himself, then obviously that might be like an inconsistent feat or whatever that you can't really just apply to everything. So
it's lame.
But anyway, it was still really well animated though.
I mean, yeah, the fighting scene was sick.
And that Ruby shit was pretty awesome too. So. Alright, well that is gonna do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, stay bright. Peace on the dark side. What's up, YouTube? Did you like that video? Then don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support us on Patreon if you want to get early access to all our series. Check out the links in the description below. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch. We post polls and play games. And as always, thanks for watching.